I think the Chiefs are simultaneously the league's most popular team and the league's most hated team.
People hate the Chiefs? I didn't know that.
Why are they annoying?
They win.
Listen, I would know something about that. I'm considered one of the most annoying people in television. Why do you think that is?
You and the refs are meeting, like, what, tonight for the Super Bowl? Is that what's happening?
That was the most rigged game I have actually ever seen in professional sports.
It was an amazing game, and I'm glad that we came out on top.
I think the men and women that officiate in the NFL are outstanding.
Football at the highest level, and if you're not appreciating what's going on, then there's something wrong with you.
Are you watching the rigged, boycotted Super Bowl? Newsflash, I don't actually think the NFL is rigged. Do I think they have an officiating issue? Sure. Do I think some teams catch more lucky breaks than others? Yes. Do I hate that we have to watch another Super Bowl rerun between the Eagles and Chiefs? Yes, but I also believe this is a great matchup and should deliver a great game. I think Philly has an excellent chance to dethrone the unbeatable Chiefs. I also believe Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' offense is clicking on a level that they hadn't for the majority of the 2024 season. So today I'll debunk the script, thwart the rigged, and give you the most specifically accurate and disgusting Super Bowl predictions you've ever witnessed. As we also break down a few of the key matchups where this game will be won and lost. And yes, I will spin the curse wheel at the end. Damn it, I forgot the wheel. Oh, I'm sorry, wheel. I didn't mean to forget you. I'll spin the curse wheel at the end. It's been perfect in the postseason. Can it get one more game right? Let's find out. That's Good Sports. The NFL has reached an agreement with Pat Riley for his trademarked Three-Peat, just in case the Chiefs win. Just in case. NFL officials will also wear badges in the Super Bowl like the Walter Payton Man of the Year badge that says Three-Peat, just so there's no confusion. In similar news, I have trademarked Four-Peat, Four-Pat, Quad Accomplishment, Victory in a row, and Satan 6. Speaking of Three-Peats, you guys officially have less than a week to force me to attend the Three-Peat parade if it does happen by signing up at Underdog with my code That's Good. Now, if you want to play daily fantasy for any of the major sports or in pick'em games, I love Underdog. They have a no sweat play for the Super Bowl, so if you've used my code but haven't played yet, that's a great one to play on because if you don't hit, you get a bonus credit in return. We're over 5,000 signups. We had 705 in January alone, so you got 1 week left to crank it up to 11 to send me to my own personal hell. Now, as long as the official who is spotting the ball in the Bills-Chiefs game isn't officiating the Super Bowl, I predict a very fairly officiated game. I think the NFL is very aware of the discourse about their officials right now. Hard not to be, especially when Dean Blandino's brother thinks the NFL is rigged.
My brother, who is convinced that the league is rigged, is convinced that I signed an NDA. I signed an NDA when I left the league office that I cannot tell anybody that it's rigged because I was head of officiating. We grew up in the same household, by the way.
Wow.
Okay, that's actually hilarious. Personally, I guarantee there will be not a single controversial penalty in the final 5 minutes of this game. Yes, that is me taking a shit in a box and slapping a guarantee on it.
But why do they put a guarantee on the box then?
Because they know all they sold you was a guaranteed piece of shit.
Let's begin with the fan advantage. It's going to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs' biggest fan is in jail for multiple bank robberies, and they still win in a landslide as a better fan base than Philly. Just when we thought maybe Eagles fans had dialed it back, we get videos after pretty much every playoff game of your fans calling women and you guys harassing Commanders fans relentlessly as they leave the stadium. It's such a dumb look. I know it's not all of you, I do, but there are more vocal pricks on video from your group than any other fan base. Quarterback advantage. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Chiefs might have this one locked up. Patrick Mahomes hasn't lost a playoff game in 3 stupid years. He played one of his best games of the season against Buffalo And he's due for at least one back-breaking scramble of 22 yards on third down. That said, Jalen Hurts also just played what might have been his best game of the season. He said the coaches took the straitjacket off of him.
Yes, he let me on my straitjacket a little bit today.
I think you mean training wheels, Jalen, but I like the metaphor nonetheless, because I do think it will take a crazy person to outduel Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. See the previous example.
Fuck them all, baby!
Now, Hurts' performance in Super Bowl 57 has gotten lost to time because the Eagles didn't win and because he botched that final throw, but he put up 304 passing yards and 4 total touchdowns in that game. Mahomes, by the way, only has one 300-yard passing game in the Super Bowl. Hurts was excellent and didn't get the help that Mahomes did late, but history only remembers the victors in these situations. What I want to happen is Patrick Mahomes makes 2 uncharacteristic mistakes in the second half of this game. It feels like he never fucks up in the second half. Jalen Hurts makes so many nice throws early that the Chiefs defense forgets about Saquon Barkley, and the Eagles set the record for most total offensive yards in the Super Bowl. The disgusting thing that will happen, the Eagles set the record for most total yards in the Super Bowl, but Patrick Mahomes gets the ball back with a minute and a half left, and by Satan's taint, it's still a 1-score game. The Eagles defense uncharacteristically plays prevent D, preventing them from winning, and Mahomes gets another Super Bowl MVP. Moving on to the offensive line. Who has the advantage there? Well, you don't make it to the Super Bowl without having good offensive line play, right? And these teams are both incredibly stout up front, with a couple exceptions. We've got the health of center Cam Jurgens, a bit of a question mark for Philly. While KC has had left tackle problems all year, finally kicking Pro Bowl guard Joe Thuney outside has proven to be a massive difference maker for the Chiefs line. Now, while KC has gotten better on the edges, they have opened up a weak spot on the interior, which is where the Eagles' defensive front is strongest, right? That's one mismatch Philly must exploit. The advantage, though, goes to the Eagles line. I think it's the best in the NFL. Also, Lane Johnson, still a stud. He and Jordan Mailata are 2 of the best tackles in the NFL. They might be the best 2 tackles on the same team. And unlike Buffalo, the Eagles will score on at least one tush push because they won't keep going to the exact same spot on the left side like Josh Allen. All while the Chiefs have not run a quarterback sneak since 2019. Please subscribe here. We have crossed 704,000 subscribers. I'd love to get to 705,000 by the time the Super Bowl kicks off. The celebrity advantage. Finally, we have a great battle, right? Kansas City's got Paul Rudd, Rob Riggle, Eric Stonestreet, the Fonz, and yes, music icon, the one we all know about, the one and only Melissa Etheridge.
I know you're getting tired of Brittany and Patrick and Taylor and Travis and Donna and Kylie and State Farm. And what the hell is a bundle-rooski? Bundle-rooski, bundle-rooski. But until they all retire, you're gonna have to deal with it. Yeah.
Fortunately, the Chiefs added to their arsenal. One of the more difficult revelations this season is learning that WNBA superstar Caitlin Clark, also a Chiefs fan. Oh, Caitlin, you betrayed me. Philly has Kevin Hart, Shane Gillis, Miles Teller, Will Smith, Bradley Cooper, Rob McElhaney, Tina Fey, and Bill Cosby. Oh, fuck. Wait, Cosby. Can Cosby mix up the Chiefs' Gatorade pre-game? Asking for a friend. Shane Gillis, also a Notre Dame fan, so maybe his championship luck will even out on Sunday. And does Jason Kelce, who is rooting for the Eagles, count as a celebrity fan now? Whatever, the Chiefs do have Taylor Swift. They get the advantage. Who's got the wide receiver advantage? Well, I think it's Philly by a long shot. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are both more dynamic than any wide receiver on the Chiefs roster. Devontae Smith actually plays very well against the Chiefs with roughly 300-yard games against them. He might be the unsung hero for the Philly offense in this game. Tight end Dallas Goedert has caught 15 passes in 3 playoff games. Of course, I could still very easily see Travis Kelce grabbing double-digit passes after being nearly shut out by the Bills. I can't wait, though, to see what Cajun song he butchers on the podium if the Chiefs do win. But the Chiefs' leading receiver this year, Xavier Worthy, He had just 600 yards. DeAndre Hopkins only caught 1 pass in KC's 2 playoff games. But I wouldn't be surprised to see DeAndre Hopkins in the end zone after waiting 12 years to play in the Super Bowl. What I want to happen? A.J. Brown is reading his self-help book for the entire 4th quarter because the game is in the bag and they're playing his backup. The disgusting thing that will happen? I get my wish that Travis Kelce has a quiet game. But it's not Hollywood Brown, nor Xavier Worthy. No, it's Juju Smith-Schuster having 185 receiving yards. But he's not in play for Super Bowl MVP because Patrick Mahomes throws 4 shovel pass touchdowns to Travis Kelce at the goal line. Kelce sets the record for most touchdown receptions in a Super Bowl. Defensive advantage. Well, I love this defensive matchup. We've got 2 legendary coordinators in Vic Fangio and Steve Spagnuolo, who's got 5 rings under his belt already. Don't ask me why Spags wears his rings under his belt. And I did not suggest that they're cock rings, if you were wondering. Just rings under his belt. This is a huge win, though, for Italian Americans, as we've got 2 paisans calling the defense. Spags, though, one of the most clutch defensive coordinators out there, if that's a thing. I think what makes Spags special is his ability to put his defense in a position to succeed in big moments. That doesn't necessarily show up on the box score, but he's great at it. Vic Fangio, 66 years old. He's got 1 Super Bowl appearance, the Harbaugh Bowl, where his 49ers fell in a close one, also down in New Orleans. Fangio basically popularized the cover 2 revolution and has done a good job containing Patrick Mahomes despite his teams going 0-8 against the Chiefs. Now that's probably because his offenses scored 20 points just once in those 8 games. My point, it wasn't all Vic's fault, okay? But the Chiefs are more than happy to take what the defense gives them and not make mistakes. It's what they've done all year. Maybe better than any team we've seen. They won 15 regular season games while producing one of the lowest amounts of explosive offensive plays this year. Philly is going to need one of their exciting whites to cause a turnover. And on the other side, if KC can hold up against the tush push like they did against the Bills, they'll be in excellent shape. These teams, though, they match up so evenly on defense, it makes me sick. The Eagles have Jalen Carter, but Kansas City has a more disruptive, a more seasoned defender who can play on any spot on their defensive line in Chris Jones. The Eagles have one of the best linebackers this season in Zach Bond, and Oren Burks filling in for the injured Nakobe Dean has been a stud. Those 2 dudes force turnovers like nobody else. Now here's a nugget I found. Mahomes and the Chiefs aren't just good at converting on passes thrown behind the line of scrimmage. They do it more than anyone else. Yes, Mahomes, the checkdown merchant. Turns out Philly is also the best at defending passes thrown behind the line of scrimmage. The Chiefs have one of the best linebacking trios in the NFL in Nick Bolton, Leo Chanel, and Drew Tranquill. Next to Pat Surtain, I think the Chiefs have the best corner in the league in Trent McDuffie, and a strong safety in Justin Reed who simply doesn't miss, even if he needs to come in and kick. Philly, though, has the most complete secondary thanks to rookies Quinion Mitchell, aka Guantanamo Bay, and Cooper DeJean, who are playing just as well as savvy veterans like Darius Slay and Reed Blankenship. Plus, the Eagles have the NFL's most prolific shit talker in CJ Gardner-Johnson. Now, Cooper DeJean could set the most unbreakable record in NFL history. A white corner getting an interception in the Super Bowl would be like the Mavs trading Luka Doncic for nothing. It can happen. Rare, but it can happen. George Karlaftis gives Kansas City the advantage off the edge. The Eagles' Nolan Smith has more pressures, though, at 15, and sacks at 4, but Karlaftis has played in just 2 games, has 3 sacks and 12 pressures. Both defenses were top 5 in points allowed this season. Both have given up a lot more yards in the postseason, and Philly has a 3-point edge in points allowed per game in the playoffs at 18.3 to the Chiefs' 21.5. I think the Eagles' defense has the edge, but I'm calling it a wash. The spiritual advantage, well, that goes to the Chiefs, right? I didn't create Devil Magic Coffee, available now at benchwarmershop.com. It's our first flavored coffee, chocolate Irish cream, to cover up the flavor of Satan's nutsack. We also have our Devil Magic shirts there as well, benchwarmershop.com. It's a great way to support this channel. Anyway, we didn't start calling the Chiefs devil magic because Kansas City was winning football games in normal ways. The caveat, though, the Eagles have the devil numbers right now. Philly currently has 666 wins in the regular season and playoffs. Now, they also have 665 losses. So either the devil wants to see perfect balance, give Kansas City the win, sending Philly straight to hell for his amusement with a 666-666 record. Or the devil's powers currently lie in the Eagles' hands in this game. Philly plays a much better bad guy anyway, so who knows? But the Chiefs have the spiritual advantage for the moment. Then we've got Andy Reid versus Nick Sirianni. All right, we know Andy has the advantage. He's the greatest coach in NFL history, in my current opinion. Sirianni is one of the more unfairly criticized head coaches. His infamous "see ya" was the beginning of the Eagles' downfall in 2023. But Philly did win that game, and this version of the Eagles is a lot better than that one. Tom Brady has defeated the Chiefs in the playoffs and the Super Bowl, right? Guess what? He's going to be in the broadcast booth calling this game. If that isn't a sign the Chiefs will lose, I don't know what is. The Chiefs also have the special teams advantage in this game. Jake Elliott and Harrison Butker have never visited a high-end spa in Baltimore like some other notable kickers. Butker is a 90% kicker in the playoffs through his career. He hasn't missed a PAT or a field goal in the postseason this year or last year, and the year before he only missed one field goal. Elliott was very good in the postseason until this year. He missed 3 PATs and 1 field goal. He played in some weather, I'll give him that, but I guarantee Jake Elliott misses at least 1 kick in this game. But the Chiefs' real advantage on special teams is Nico Remigio. He had a 63-yard kick return against the Texans and a 41-yard punt return against the Bills. 269 total yards this postseason for him in returns. And if Philly kicks to him, he will have a big one in this game. We've seen Devin Hester, Percy Harvin, Kadarius Toney against the Eagles, and Jordan Norwood all make big plays in the Super Bowl. And in 3 of those 4 cases, their team won. Sorry, Devin. This game, though, I think it's going to come down to the running backs. Let's start with Kareem Hunt, who's been pretty good with limited carries in the postseason. Hunt even got the start over Isaiah Pacheco in the championship game, even though I think Pacheco technically got the first carry. Hunt has forced 11 missed tackles on just 25 carries in the postseason, which means he has maximized every opportunity he has with the ball in his hands. He and Pacheco are a nice combo. But with the connected brain that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes have, it's hard for Kansas City to continue to feed any back when they know Pat gives them the best chance on any given play, especially when they can throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, right? The Chiefs are running the ball well, but they're not going to overdo it. So the only advantage that truly matters, it's Saquon Barkley. Now maybe this is wishful thinking. I'll admit that, sure. I desperately want to see the Chiefs lose. I also watched Terrell Davis and the Denver Broncos offensive line upset the heavily favored Packers in Super Bowl 32. I predicted that Jahmyr Gibbs would win Super Bowl MVP before the season, and I need to be right that a running back wins the award. Now, while John Harbaugh and Joe Brady were too fucking dumb to keep getting the ball to Derrick Henry and James Cook, Nick Sirianni and Kellen Moore won't make that same mistake. Right, guys? Right? Sirianni, he's got too much bro in his DNA to abandon physically dominating his opponent, and you do that by running the ball. And it's not just that Saquon Barkley is on a historic pace, it's that he's doing it behind the best run blocking line in the league. That duo is a monster. That's why I believe in Philly. It's not about trying to stop Saquon Barkley, it's about trying to stop Barkley and that offensive line. They are one and the same. The last Super Bowl, Philly deployed Kenneth Gainwell, Miles Sanders, and Boston Scott. The upgrade Barkley provides to their offense in this matchup is hard to quantify, and the Chiefs, despite not allowing a 100-yard rusher in their last 18 playoff games, ridiculous stat I know, doesn't tell the entire story. The Bills put up 147 on them, and the Texans 149. You can run again. My official prediction, the Eagles win. They win the Super Bowl, and they win by 10. Saquon Barkley rushes for 167 yards and 2 touchdowns. The disgusting thing that will actually happen, Saquon Barkley gets food poisoning, can't play, and the Chiefs paint roll the Eagles, and Jalen Hurts can't escape his straitjacket. But my prediction doesn't matter, right? It's all about what this stupid wheel says. Let's see. This is the last spin of the year. Will it choose the Chiefs or Eagles to curse? Benchwarmershop.com. Don't forget, we've got our first flavored coffee. The Devil Magic Blend. Chocolate Irish Cream. Chocolate Irish Dream. Oh, interference! Interference! I touched it. Does it matter? Oh, it's picking 666. 666 represents the Chiefs. It's cursing the Chiefs. Eagles gonna win the Super Bowl. The wheel doesn't lie. The wheel doesn't lie. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports Super Bowl prediction episode. Subscribe here on YouTube, please.